Most gardeners are feeding their soil the long way around without realizing it. They add compost, wait months, sometimes even years, and just hope nutrients eventually reach plant roots. Meanwhile, plants struggle, soil biology stalls, and growth feels slower than it should. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Not all organic methods deliver nutrients the same way, and honestly, one of them works dramatically faster and more efficiently when used correctly. If you care about soil health, plant vigor, and results you can actually see, this comparison changes everything. This is why fermented inputs feel powerful even at low doses. Compost introduces microbes, fermentation multiplies them. A properly fermented input delivers billions of active microorganisms directly into the soil, ready to work the moment moisture and oxygen are present. This microbial surge accelerates nutrient cycling, root signaling, and disease suppression far faster than compost alone. Plants do not feed directly on organic matter. They feed on microbial byproducts. Fermented inputs flood the soil with those byproducts instantly. This leads to faster root development, stronger leaf growth, and improved resistance to stress. Gardeners often mistake this response for fertilization, but it is actually biology waking up. Compost tends to be carbon-heavy, especially when it's mature. This stabilizes soil, but, it can temporarily slow nitrogen availability. Fermented materials, on the other hand, maintain nitrogen in more accessible forms, preventing the slowdown that sometimes follows heavy compost use. This balance is really critical in raised beds and containers where soil volume is limited. This is not an either-or decision. Fermentation actually works best when it's layered into a compost-based system. Compost provides structure and long-term fertility. Fermentation jumpstarts biology and unlocks nutrients already present. Together, they create soil that is both stable and responsive. One of the most effective fermented soil feeds uses unsulfured molasses to activate microbes. So what you do is mix 1 tablespoon of unsulfured molasses into 1 gallon of clean water. Then give it a good stir until it's fully dissolved. Apply directly to moist soil, not dry soil, in the evening. This feeds existing microbes rather than shocking the system. Used once every 2 to 3 weeks, this dramatically increases microbial activity without overfeeding. It's pretty amazing how just a little goes a long way. Compost tea extracts microbes from compost using water and oxygen. You can make a basic compost tea by steeping 1 shovel of finished compost in 10 liters of water for 12 hours, stirring occasionally. This introduces beneficial organisms but does not pre-digest nutrients. It's a different approach, but both methods have their own unique benefits. Fermented feeds already contain broken down nutrients, making them more immediately effective, while compost tea focuses more on microbial diversity. Fermented inputs are powerful because they act quickly, but, overuse can overwhelm soil biology. Small diluted applications outperform heavy doses. Compost, by contrast, tolerates larger volumes because it releases nutrients slowly. Understanding this timing difference really helps prevent common mistakes. Fermentation-based inputs, they really need moisture to function. It's like dry soil just shuts those microbes down instantly. Compost, well, it's more forgiving, but it still performs better when the soil is kept covered and moist. Mulch, it's non-negotiable if you're aiming for results. Because raised beds dry out faster and hold less biological depth, fermented inputs produce noticeable improvements quickly. Worm activity increases, root zones stabilize, nutrient cycling speeds up. This is why gardeners often see dramatic changes in raised beds within weeks of fermentation use. Large containers create controlled environments where fermentation shines. 5 to 10 gallon pots maintain moisture and microbial stability. This approach supports crops like peppers that benefit from, consistent nutrition and warm soil. Even with perfect nutrition, plants need physical support. Staking or caging heavy fruiting plants prevents stress and honestly helps direct energy right into production. Healthy soil makes support easier because plants grow stronger and, more balanced. Regular harvesting signals plants to continue producing. Soil health influences even post-harvest quality. Compost builds soil. Fermentation activates it. When the goal is real, usable nutrients, fermentation delivers faster and more directly. When the goal is long-term soil resilience, compost remains essential. So the gardeners who are seeing the best results are actually using both tools, but, they really understand which tool does what. Okay, layer compost for structure. Be sure to cover the soil and, maintain moisture. Use fermented input sparingly to wake biology when plants need it most. Stop forcing nutrients and start enabling the system that delivers them naturally. That right there is how soil becomes productive instead of, demanding. If this clarified how to truly feed your soil, go ahead and subscribe to Nature's Blueprint for Biology-First Gardening that replaces guesswork with results. And hey, share this with any gardener still waiting months for compost to do what fermentation can do in just days.